Parshas Vaeschanan, we find the first parsha of Kriyas Shema. Really loaded parsha, many mitzvahs in it. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, the mitzvah to believe that Hashem is one. Yichud Hashem, the mitzvah of Ahavas Hashem, the mitzvah of Shinantam Levanecha, that you should have a clarity in Torah and share it with your children. And B'shech B'cha V'kumecha, the mitzvah of reading Kriyas Shema multiple times a day. The mitzvah of the tefillin shel yad and shel rosh, and the mitzvah of the mezuzah are all mitzvahs found in this parsha. Interesting, the pasuk of Vahayu Advarim Ha'ela seems almost like an outlier. It doesn't seem to have its own mitzvah. But as we're going to see, it's one of the ways Chazal learn it is to connect it to this mitzvah in the previous pasuk of Ahavas Hashem. The Rambam tells us in his third mitzvah saseh in his Sefer HaMitzvos that this mitzvah, that this pasuk is commanding us to love Hashem with a great and strong love until one's heart and soul are tied to a love of Hashem. And so then a person is constantly involved in this. It's v'kumecha, whether he eats, when he's drinking, at all times a person is connected to this love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mesilas Yesharim in Perek Yud Tes elaborates on what we can tap into with Ahavas Hashem. He says the idea of Ava is that a person is choshek u'misava kravas yisbach. He has a drive, a taiva towards closeness to Hashem, and runs after kedusha like a person runs after something that he desires. You have a love for something, you run after it. A person can reach the level where the mentioning of Hashem's name and speaking of Hashem's praises and being osik in Hashem's Torah is a shashu and an onik. It can be a tremendously pleasurable experience for the person. The same way that a person, I was trying to think of an example of a person could have a Rebbe who they have a tremendous chavivas for, or maybe lahavdil, a celebrity who, somebody, whenever you hear their name, it puts you in a good mood. You enjoy praising them and talking good things about them. Whenever you hear about something that they said, you're even interested in hearing what they have to say. A human being is capable of such a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, tells us the Mesilas Yesharim. That a person is able to feel that whenever he hears Hashem's name, it puts him in good spirits. He just desires to praise Hashem, to speak good about Hashem, to hear words of Torah that are Hashem's words. And we know there are such people even today, that you can find such people that have such a simcha and a love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When a person has this love for Hashem, says the Mesilas Yesharim, he won't give up that avoda for any reason in the world unless he's mamish forced. A person could be in a very difficult situation where it's almost impossible to keep Shabbos, but he won't want to he'll be fighting hard to keep Shabbos when he's driven by this love of Hashem. He doesn't need enticement, he doesn't need ritzui and pitoy for Hashem's avoda. His heart drives him to do it unless there's something stopping him. When a person has love, then that alone is a powerful force that will motivate him in his service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So obviously Ahavas Hashem is one of the main reasons that we're here. It's one of the main powerful forces that can motivate us in Avodas Hashem. It's a high madrega. We can hopefully tap into it on our level. Just wanted to explore with you two ideas that I came across in the Rambam, two different directions of how he approaches achieving Ahavas Hashem. Both fairly famous, but Aleph base of Yiddishkeit, very worth repeating. So Rashi brings from the Sifri in this week's parsha, in this parsha, B'chol Me'odecha, what is this Ava, V'ahavas Hashem Elokecha, V'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh. Through having these words of Torah on your heart, you'll be makir Hashem u'medabek b'dracha. You'll recognize Hashem and cling to His ways. In other words, as the Rambam in his Sefer HaMitzvos here elaborates on this Sifri, the path that can bring a person to loving Hashem is to think about Shechnechshav v'nisponin b'mitzvos v'mamor v'pulosav Ashenasigeyu v'nene b'ashkachoso b'asagaso b'tachas hanav v'zosi ava miyuchuyaves. The path that can bring a person to loving Hashem is to think about and contemplate Hashem's mitzvos, His words, His actions, until a person achieves this connection to Hashem, and it will give him tremendous pleasure. And he quotes the Sifri, V'ahavas Hashem Elokecha. I wouldn't know how to love Hashem. That's what the parsha of Kriyas Shema tells us. By putting these words on your heart, then it will bring you to recognize the one who created the world. In other words, the Sifri is bringing out that through contemplating Hashem's Torah and Hashem's mitzvahs and Hashem's ways, it can bring us to a love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This idea I've heard before, that contemplating the words of Torah, we can tap into it and it can bring us to love Torah. But how does it bring us to love Hashem? People learn Torah. Does it bring them to love Hashem? Apparently, there's this idea that we have the power to tap into Torah. Torah has this power that if we're able to connect to it properly, it can actually bring us to a love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to this level that the Mesilas Yesharim is telling us. Just learning Torah the right way in the areas that speak to us can really bring us to the depth of Torah, the profundity of Torah, just understanding Hashem and the way He runs the world, has the power to bring us to a love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amazing idea if we're able to tap into it. The Rambam has another idea of an approach to Ahavas Hashem that he talks about in Yesodei HaTorah and Perek Beis Halacha Beis. He talks about the idea that if a person is misponen in Hashem's maisim and in his brum anefom agadolim, if he just contemplates Hashem's world and he sees the wisdom, the boundless wisdom, so he'll come to love Hashem, to praise Hashem, and have a great desire to know Hashem. As it says in Tehillim, my soul thirsts for Hashem. When a person thinks of these things, when a person thinks about these things, he'll start to see how small man is in the big picture compared to the whole world. And so I'm not sure why the Rambam is putting that in the ballpark of working on Ahavas Hashem. Maybe it's because we're supposed to realize how Hashem views us as significant in His big scheme of the world, that He created the whole world just for us. Maybe that helps us feel loved. Not sure. But the Rambam says that these things are tools to bring us to Ahavas Hashem, to recognize the one who created the world. Just this idea the Rambam is telling us is a very powerful idea also. I think the Rambam is talking about a person, let's say, enjoys physics, enjoys chemistry, enjoys studying things about just contemplating magnetic fields, contemplating things about the world. I found this artist, Joel Sartor. He's a photographer. He takes photo shoots of animals. A little bit of a strange things to do, but he does take beautiful pictures. And to me, the diversity of the animal kingdom and the beauty of these different creatures, to me, it's inspiring. To me, it makes me think about what an amazing world Hashem created. For some people, it's studying medicine, and science can have the power to do that, just contemplating Hashem's world. And it's something that people can use and abuse to take them in the wrong direction also, but it has a purpose for a person who wants to tap into just really appreciating, wow, a lot of things Hashem made are really amazing. It's everything from icebergs to waterfalls to plants. Every aspect of the world has so much wisdom in it, so much amazing things to contemplate. It's so much that shows us just how deep Hashem's plan is for the world and how much He has going on. It has the ability to impress us and realize how much Hashem is doing, because at the end, because it's all for us, and increase our Ahavas Hashem. So whether it's through Hashem's Torah, through Hashem's Bria, through analyzing how Hashem interacts with the world, His midos, all have the power to bring us to this Ahavas Hashem, and hopefully change our approach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're just thinking, if a person thinks about the people that they love the most, imagine the smile you get from a 1-year-old makes you overwhelmed with love. Such a chiba and an ava a person could feel for their child, their grandchild. And imagine realizing that a person could have an even greater love, just trying to transfer that love and saying, Hashem loves me more, and I have the ability to have an even greater love and good feeling about God. And that's something that can't be taken away from me. It's something I can walk around with. It's an incredible opportunity if we're able to tap into it and take advantage of it. May Hashem help us do so and grow in our Ahavas Hashem.